guys, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes and we'll go move on. Hold on, I can find us on YouTube. You ever have so many like little icons on your phone, and you're like, where the heck is it? Sorry. Oh, this is relive. Okay, perfect. I got TikTok. And then, sorry. I won't tag you. And I sent you the link, so if you want to share it, you can. You don't have to, but. Okay, sorry about that. If you're coming in, just leave a comment. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, hey, that's Brandon.
Okay,
Okay.
Panda.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start this intro. Okay, so hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of New Beginnings. I'm your host, LD Patiloma, and today we're having a truly special, like it's awesome, special lined up for you. We are going live on multiple platforms, so Stitch and the YouTube today. So whether you're tuning in on YouTube or Facebook or your favorite podcast app, we're thrilled to have you with us. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where is Carly and Riz? Hey, Jennifer. Um, well, they couldn't make it today, but don't worry. They'll be back soon joining us for more engaging discussions. But today we have a fantastic guest who's ready to dive into some intriguing topics with us. Please welcome the amazing Miss Monyeka, and also known, well, I'm not going to say that part, but so round of applause. And she's not just a guest; she's a powerhouse of knowledge and experience. We'll be exploring a variety of fascinating subjects today, from conspiracy theories and that keep us questioning the world around us, to personal stories that offer unique perspectives on life's challenges and triumphs. But here's a twist: we want you to be a part of the conversation today. We're eager to hear from our audience, your thoughts, your questions, or even your own stories. This is an opportunity for us to get familiar with who's watching and what topics resonate with you. So don't hold back. Drop your comments in the chat. Just keep dropping them, or send us a message. We want to know that what you're curious about. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, whether it's wine, and let's embark on this journey together as we explore new beginnings through the lens of curiosity and connection. So, without further ado, let's welcome Monyeka to the show. And so, let's get started. Sorry.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be here with with LD and you guys' cast. I'm so excited. I definitely am honored to be here. I apologize for you guys not having me other guests, but I definitely have knowledge. I've been through lots of things. I have studied everything from scientific explanation to supernatural abilities. I definitely grew up having extra abilities that were definitely confusing as a kid, but as I grew older and got stronger and understood better and had better words to use, I dove into all kinds of types of um, ex, um, explanations for everything, you know?
Yes.
So I went through religion, I've gone through different religious textbooks. I definitely have knowledge on firsthand. I've been through plenty of things, and LD can tell you definitely throughout
Yes.
my life I have known
We
her.
might get into
And
that.
yes, we have some good stories, and they are
Yeah.
all true. We have nothing to lie about, guys. And feel free to ask anything. We will definitely be shouting you guys out and keeping you guys informed with us. But yeah, I'm definitely excited, and I'm so ready. I have so much to give to you guys, and I am definitely open. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything, and I probably have a good answer, if not a good story.
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about that time. I know this is kind of random, but I was just thinking about that time that we went to that girl's house that I actually knew when we went to the reading and the cleansing of her house, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember.
You
I can't
left me in
remember.
the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids, I tell my kids that story, and they laugh at me sometimes when they joke. They're like, "Don't make us leave you with the light off." I'm like, "The light turned off."
It's not funny, but we can laugh about it now, right? I just
It was kind of like shock, but then I was like, "Now I can laugh. Now I can laugh. It's okay."
she was like, Mary! It was like, there's like, just to kind of give you like a background of it, it was like, I can't remember who got the reading. It doesn't matter. But
Somebody definitely needed it for
yeah,
sure.
they were like, hey, there's stuff going on with our house. Can you like come and do like a reading on it or just like a walkthrough, maybe do a cleanse or something? And so, of course, I was like, Monica, we have to go. I'm not going by myself. And this is like very, very beginning, and so I'm like, okay, so we went in there, we're going room from room, and I remember there was like a boy and a girl.
Hmm.
I remember the kitchen. I remember the woman the girlfriend that was there. I don't know if I met them at work or what, but I actually went to school with the girl that was there. She was like, oh, you do the,
It's you.
oh, I'm like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, hey. And so then we went into the backyard. No, was it the garage? I left you in the garage or the outside? But
Okay, so we did the walkthrough through the house.
mhm,
We're now, mind you, we're doing a walkthrough to scan on spirits. Like we do a walkthrough. Miss Mary kind of just recruits me and is like, "Hey, this date and time, let's be there." And I'm like, "Okay, what are we doing?"
yeah,
And here we are. Okay, so
that's
for
so
someone like
funny.
you who sees things, if you don't know what you're doing, it could be a
Yeah,
scare. But for me, I was like, "Let's do it." So we do the walkthrough through the house. We go to the garage, and what's in the garage is scaring Mary so much she doesn't want to go in. But I go in because I definitely have seen plenty of
but
things.
there was like they were everywhere. They were like
Yeah,
all over
yeah,
the
for
yard.
sure. But what was in the garage was just so evil. So I walk in, it's literally toe to toe with me, and he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "What's up?
I
What
was
you
like,
doing here?
bye.
Why you messing with these people?" And Miss Mary's in the kitchen waiting, just watching.
I'm
But
like,
that's not even it. I handle my business in there. We get him to boot, scoot, and boogie. We get him out of there,
yeah,
and then we still have to go to the backyard. Now this backyard looked like a forest, but it was definitely fenced in, like fenced
yeah,
in, big backyard, but it looked like a
yeah,
forest. We
yeah.
weren't expecting to walk out and see that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember like that's when I think I learned you got to open your cabinets to really sage too. I did learn something that day. One, don't
Yeah.
leave Miss Monyeka in the garage, and two, open your cabinets when you say.
Yes. People don't realize too sometimes, like as our guests, like you guys should
Yeah.
know, doors, closets, cabinets can be doorways.
Hmm.
Spirits can go anywhere. They can come out of a lot of things, and
Yeah.
sometimes people forget their cabinet for sure.
Yeah. I'm like, and so now, like, even under the bed in the closet, and if you're scared, don't do it. I was having this
Mm,
conversation with someone the other day. They were saying, like, Palo Santo is better than the sage, which it smells better than the sage, according to Brandon.
yeah,
He,
I've heard that.
but so I'm gonna try that. But I feel like every time I do Palo Santo, more things start happening. So I'm like, I don't
See,
know.
and some people say the opposite. I've heard this. I've heard the same. I've heard sometimes when I sage, it makes the demons or whatever spirits more active. And then I hear it sometimes when I use Palo Santo, it seems like it activates them. But I've heard the same about the opposite. I've heard, well, Palo
Yeah.
Santo works for me, and then I've heard, well, sage works for me. So I think it's one of those things where whatever works best with your energy, and
Hmm.
I think that's really the way to go, because I've heard so much about Palo Santo from the Mexican sides of the families.
Yes.
Um, Guatemalans like to use Palo Santo when they're blessing and doing cleansings too on people.
Yes.
You very rarely hear about sage in certain areas of Mexico for cleansing houses. So they like to use Palo Santo,
Yes.
and I guess maybe it's just one of those things that they was passed down years to years and years, and they tell you to use sage for certain things. But I've
Yes.
also heard, like, on this side of the U.S., people prefer sage, but they know about Palo Santo. So I really think that as far as what I've seen and what I've read and for me, I feel like different energies, different things, you know?
Yes.
Whatever works
Exactly.
best for that is what you're going to want to use.
Yes. So I'm gonna try it. I have some somewhere under here. I'm gonna try that and see if that helps. But everything's kind of calmed down in the house, so maybe I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
So Carly's here in the comments. She says that she's here to watch and support. I feel like y'all might have a bit at some point met each other briefly. Probably when
Yeah.
I was doing the readings. So okay. So we have a lot of stories. We could go on about this all day, honestly. Like, uh,
Well, let me finish that house. Let me let y'all
oh,
know what
oh,
happened
okay,
during that house.
okay, sorry.
So, because Miss Berry did not just leave me in the kitchen, okay? So we go out. We go out. We've done the reading. I've already kind of tackled that
Mhm.
spirit in the garage. Mind you, the garage is towards the end of the house, so we kind of do a loop around and we get to the backyard. The backyard looks like a forest and it's literally fenced in. And the first thing I hear in my soul is like, in order to get what's out of that house, completely out, we have to get rid of what's in this backyard forest. So I'm like, it's literally at the time it was regular time, where because like right now we're in where it gets darker faster. It wasn't one of
Yeah.
those days. It was one of the days where we went after work, after school, after everything, after kids get home, all that stuff, and we
Mhm.
took time to go do this. So it's literally 6:37. So sundown's coming, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this perimeter walk in this backyard of forest full of stuff. We gotta
Yeah.
hurry. So sun's already going down, but we still got a little sun left. So I'm like, okay, I think I can walk this. I think I can. Okay, so Mary's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk this, and I'm like,
Oh.
okay, okay. I was like, well, can you just stay here so that I can see you? She's my partner, so she stays here. I have to walk around this whole area. Now I'm here. I walk straight, and this, mind you, it's a very long walk to that back piece. I
Yeah.
get to the back piece, midway back piece. I can see Mary, but she's just so um irritated and uncomfortable from what she's feeling and her emotions and all the energy, and I can see it in her face. She's pale, and I'm just like, I'm only halfway through. I don't know if she's gonna make it. And she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and go inside. She don't even ask me. She takes off in the house.
I was
It's
like,
already getting dark. It's like by the
oh,
time I get to that mid area, it's like full on like sundown. So
yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, I have to walk this pitch black half a forest, but at least I have the wood to lead me. So
yeah.
I'm literally doing a cleanse. I'm doing a scan and cleanse at the same time. And now I'm nervous because my best friend just left me, and then the porch
Sorry.
light turned off. So I know it wasn't her because she would never turn the porch light on me. I know it was probably just an energy who popped that light off to scare me. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, get me through this. So I'm literally with my hand rubbing it along the wood of the fence. Now I'm speed walking trying to get this taken care of.
You're like,
And
are
by
you
the time
good?
I don't even know. I honestly don't know how I did it, but I went all the way around and made it back to the house. And I just remember stepping near that door. I was just like drained, tired spiritually, but so relieved and ready to go in that house. And I even like flicked the light to see if maybe like it was just a loose bulb.
Yeah.
It was just out,
Um,
like it had popped. It was popped, like the little piece inside popped it. When you blow a bulb. And then I
yeah.
walk in the I walk in the house and Mary's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, you left
Uh,
me."
I could do it now. I could do it
No,
now.
no, no. This was the beginning of all. This was just way in the beginning, but still,
Uh,
like I remember. I remember thinking, my best friend is scared. I'm gonna have to watch. Literally, she didn't even ask. She was just so worried, and the way she was in her energy, I knew. I was like, if I make this all the way around, it's probably gonna have to be alone, and it was, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But I remember thinking she didn't even know that that light popped, so she probably thought she
I
left me
did
with a
not.
light. And then, as soon as that door closed, about 2 seconds later, that light popped. So I was like, okay,
Oh
it's me
my
and you now,
God.
spirit, let's go.
If that is not an act of faith, then I really don't know what it is.
Way
Um,
that was really too like way in the beginning before we know
yeah,
before we were like really into understanding preparing.
yes,
That's
it
kind
was
of when we
like,
just jumped in and was like, let's go.
yeah, but karma got me well because something similar happened to me. I went back to, yes, I'm gonna email Carly the link. Um, so hold on one second. Okay, so I went to this apartment, which is funny because there's this girl I used to hang out with in like middle school. She was doing witchcraft, and
Yeah.
she was like, so there's an apartment next to it. Years later, so I took my brother with me because I was like, hey, what? Because his girlfriend at the time, she was like, hey, I have a coworker. Can you go cleanse their house? And I said, absolutely, you got it. So I was like, why don't Taylor and her go with me? So I'm not going
Yeah,
by
so she
myself.
knows her. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it was fine. So we got there, and I'll tell you what. You know how my brother, he's so when he sees stuff, he's so quiet. I
Yes,
am not quiet, and um,
yeah. But
so
he's quiet in the most like pin dropping type of quiet.
yes, and
I have been around him in the presence of his quietness, and it's almost like he's almost like a mannequin type of quiet.
yes, and so he was like, we get in there, and I was like, okay, before I sage, let me go through the house. Let me see what I'm dealing with.
Okay.
And so we'll talk about. I was like, don't tell me anything. I always tell him, don't tell me anything. Let me
Mm-hmm.
look. We can talk about it. Let me sage. Okay, and because you want to talk about it first. Anyways, I go through the little apartment, and I was like, oh, I know exactly. I know exactly. I already knew because I was like, first of all, next door, this home me used to be doing witchcraft, so I already know. And it wasn't fun witchcraft. It wasn't like let's ask for peace and love. No, it was like let's conjure my
Yes,
soul.
yes. The energy of the conjuring and the energy of just I just need a couple of things. It's completely different.
Yes. And so I go in there, and I remember seeing a shadow. It was like a black shadow. I remember how tall it was. It was, you knew it wasn't a human. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I've already busted it. Let me bring in Carly. Hey, girl.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So uh, this is Monyeka, and Monyeka, this is
Hey.
Carly.
Hello.
She made it,
I made it.
and she's got a lot of good stories too. Oh my gosh. So it was like, okay, so I seen this thing in the corner behind the TV, and it was kind of like, I don't know, and I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. I've seen worse. It's fine. I can handle it. And so I'm like, okay. And then I came around, so I'm coming in the room, I see it over here,
Okay.
and then I see it, there's a bathroom over here, and I see it in the
Better.
bathroom, like before you get into the window. And
Mhm.
then um, I came back in through the living room because it's just like a regular apartment. I go through, you know how like most apartments they have that regular little like kitchen. They'll have like a
Yeah,
sink
yeah,
over
yeah.
there, and so it's right there. And then there's like this laundry room area that's open,
Mhm.
and so I'm looking there, and oh my gosh, it was like I've seen it like 3 times as big, and it was heavy, and it was almost like that little space was just hot and heavy, and I was
Yeah,
like,
real dark.
yeah, I was like, oh, here we go. So I tell him what I see, and then you could kind of hear it, and then I could see it kind of like move over here a little bit in the living room as I'm talking. It's like, oh, you can see me. Like I have chills right now because I'm like, and I was like, oh, you see me, and I'm like, fuck you, and so, and then there was a room over here, and there was I was like, I don't know. There's something about this room. They would not let me go in this room. I was like, I could tell you, it's heavily in that room. Like I already knew. If you touch it, it got burned. But so I tell them what's going on. Of course, they're freaking out. Luckily, I brought extra sage, and so she's like, "Can I buy this thing?" I was like, "I'm gonna try to scare you.
Can we
I'm
get
just
a
gonna
Coke?
Yeah." I was like, I didn't want to word vomit, but I was like, I'm just gonna tell you what I've seen. You take that information with what you want to do with it. The guy came out of the room was like, um, he just came out. He was actually sitting on the couch, and he was like, I don't know. He was trying to tell me that I was wrong, but then things happened. So I was definitely right. The thing is, okay, we'll get into that later. But yeah, we ended up giving her sage. I showed her how to do it. You know how you go around the house, and it turned out okay. So it wasn't like the scariest experience I've ever had, but it was still like, oh, I still think about that.
Yeah.
Like I hope they
If
see
you
it.
still get chills from it, it's one of those that has kind of been like, yeah, I remember that.
But
I think
Carly,
everybody has one of those stories that they have that moment with, even when they tell the story still. It's like, I
yeah.
definitely remember that one.
Carly, can I show? I think I still have your picture. Can I show your picture?
Yeah, go ahead. Which one? The one.
The crib one.
Okay, yeah.
So Carly's house, girl, like I don't know, I think it's fine now, but sometimes she'll get these crazy, like thick looking, um, what are they called?
I don't even know. It's
They're
just,
like really solid. You can see them on the camera, and they're really solid, and it's crazy. Let me see. I should still have it. It might take me a minute.
Is it like a figure in gray or like a dark figure? Or...
well, it's a black and white photo because it's from our security cameras. And
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
you can see through it. Like you can tell it
Yeah,
shouldn't be there, but it's pretty. I'm looking right now for it.
prominent.
I'm like, I know it's back here, and I should still have it in my photos somewhere.
Yeah, I got so many.
But,
I'm looking through.
oh my gosh, I think I'm allergic to makeup
Why?
because every single time I put on some dang eyeliner, my eye just starts watering.
Oh, found it. I'm sending it to you.
Okay, facing me Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully, I sent it to you. I think I did. Let me check.
I mean,
And this
really,
is why too I love cameras because they sometimes will take a picture of like a family member or something we don't even know, and then it shows.
Yeah, it's on your Facebook.
okay.
I have a couple of pictures through my security.
I'm gonna
I
save
think
it.
those are the best ones too that come from the security because those are the ones that people, well, the spirits or whatever it winds up being things that nobody sees, and then the camera picks it.
It does. It picks it up and it's like, wow.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I can make it bigger.
Wow, I did not expect that to have such good form.
it
Yeah,
does.
it's look. You can even
The
see.
It's literally like a being who just may have lived there at one time and forgot to leave. Like, oh, I'm just walking through the house.
and it's
Oh my
always in them
god.
spots, like there or over by the window.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it looks like a little old lady.
Yeah, like with one, when they used to slick their hair down and have that little wave by the ear.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can even see that, like a real. You can even see like what she wore. That's crazy. Good picture. Good.
man. She
See, these are
had
the photos too that are always good to have too when you have those naysayers or non-believers. It's like we weren't sitting here paying attention and trying to film it. It just popped up in my security camera.
Yeah, and this photo was actually taken 5 years ago when we first put our cameras in. This is about 4 to 5 years ago.
yeah. It was like so. She's had like MIN. Remember, actually, I told Mon about it,
Okay.
and I was like, it was that last conversation we had on the phone. It was like I went on there for like 5 hours, and I was like, so let me tell you about Carly's ghost, and the MIMICS I don't know. I don't know if I even want to say it anymore because I've been saying it a lot. It's like I don't say the D word now. I'm like I don't know if I want to say that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have a mimic.
That's what. Yeah, she says
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
it.
and
Sometimes once you've been around them, you know they're there.
Yeah, they're there. I
well,
mean,
it was like makes it weird because Brandon the other day was like he came in here. I was just on the working, and he's like, "Did you call for me?" I'm like, "No," and he's like, "Huh, that's weird," and I'm like, "No, don't start."
It hits you.
I'm like, "You best not." Um, no, but that's all real. I mean, we had a picture of it, and you knew it was one at her house because just the way the hands, the feet, the hair, it was crazy. Um,
it was.
and so sometimes she'll be hearing stuff in her house, and I'm like, go out there and see what it is. Go get it on camera. She's like, F you.
Yeah.
We did catch the EVPs though on one of our sessions.
Yes, we
Oh.
have. So we have some streams, and we'll put in the description like live EVPs. We've caught one. We just caught one at my house a couple weeks ago, and that was cool.
We
Uh,
didn't mean to. It just happens when we open mic sometimes. When we listen back, we're like, did that just happen? We're like, yeah, that just
you,
happened.
and it's wild. Like,
Yes.
so she had a guest with her one day, and so she didn't have her mic on. So you get all the when you don't have the mic, you get all the extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so with that one,
Yep.
oh my gosh, you could hear people having a conversation. Like it was wild.
And then they were actually, what we were talking about, they were like out the window, like you heard this little girl's voice in the background as we're talking about it. They're like saying what we just said, but in a whisper, in a little kid's
Yeah.
voice. We were
Yeah,
like,
it was a little
oh,
Yeah.
girl, yeah.
yeah.
And oh man, you want to hear some crazy stuff? So I bought a while back. I don't know, maybe it was like a year ago almost. I bought two pendulums. I liked both of them, and I couldn't decide, so I took them home. And when I was taking them home, the lady at the desk also can see, and she says, "Okay, did they choose you?" I said, "Yes." I knew at least one chose me, but I really liked the other one because it was pretty, and I messed up. I was like, "Yes." Like I'm drawn to both of them, because when you pick out your
Yeah,
pendulum, same with like your tarot cards, they have to choose you. Same as your animals.
yeah. It's one of
So,
those things that just
so I've been trying to do some like pendulum readings lately, and I definitely got a prankster on there. And it's been really pranking me. And I don't know if y'all remember, but there was that C or K lady. That's not a lady. That's actually the demonic thing that I had problems with for years. I'm really worried she's back. Otherwise, is a completely different kind of prankster. And I would show you right now, but I can't remember if this is the good one. But I have it, and it kind of looks like this wood.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, so let's see. You'll go like which way is yes. Okay, let's go straight. You can't see it up here. Oh, okay, so you'll be like, you see my eyes. Okay, so which way is yes? Sorry, I'm kind of shaking. Okay, so straight is yes. Okay, and then which way is no? Sorry, I'm shaking. That's not helping. Well, no is supposed to go this way, and then maybe is a circle. And so I was like, I was like asking all these questions, and it seemed pretty good, because after the first one, I was like, I know that one's got some problems, and it's in my room, by the way. And Miss Martha, let me tell you, I was up till 4 a.m. thinking about all these aliens. I was like, what if there's going to be a gray one by my TV now? So, yeah, so I didn't sleep very good. I've been on this alien thing, and Carly knows I don't believe in aliens. I believe in the underwater aliens, but lately, with all these dreams I've been having, I'm kind of wondering because Carly, I didn't tell you about my alien dream.
No,
So
you didn't.
I don't need to go on a tangent, but let me tell you, long dream short, there was like a line of little houses, and there's nobody in them. They've all been gone. They're just disappeared. gone, and it's just me in some kind of like woodsy dress, okay? And I don't know, it was weird. And then I had a husband and I had a son who was very chubby, by the way. I had a little chubby boy son, and they were like, I don't know. I just remember walking through the house, and the next thing you know, I seen this like fish with like blonde curly hair, like not like a blonde wave, not like Johnny Bravo hair, but just like the color of it on a cartoon looking fish. I don't do drugs, by the way. I don't know where that came from. So, and then, and then having this conversation. This alien shows up. There's three of them, two females and a male, I think, and they are dressed like 80s, 70s, like business suits, like maybe 80s business suits with like this 80s business hair, maybe. I don't know. I keep going from 70s to 80s, but yeah, and they were like, looked like real people, but they were aliens, but they had no emotions and were sitting on this like old 80s couch that you might have sat on when you were a child. And we were like having a whole conversation. And I was like, no. I rebuke you. I rebuke you because I still rebuke in my dreams, thanks to Monica. That's where I got that from. And she was like, she looks at me with her little 80s updo, and she says,
her alien self.
yeah. And she goes, oh, honey, you can't rebuke me. I'm not a demon. And I was like, and I remember sitting on this couch, like kind of looking, and then that's when I learned like they didn't have any emotion. It was the weirdest dream, and I do not like dreaming about aliens, and I don't appreciate it.
When she told me that dream, because she just told me this a couple days ago, she called me to tell me the dream. I Let me just throw this out there. I came from Texas. I'm from Austin, but I lived in Victoria before I lived. I didn't even think about the aliens when I came to New Mexico. I was just coming because my son needed to go to the school for the blind, so this is where we were going to go. So when I got here, I'm 45 minutes away from Roswell. Didn't even think about nothing. And then my brother tells me, hey, that's where the aliens landed the first time. And I'm like, aliens?
The whole...
That's where my mom went when she went to go.
And I've known for years in Texas about how they talk about New Mexico and aliens, but I moved here thinking it was better for my son's health, which it is, you know.
It is.
But I had no idea. I didn't even think about the aliens because I have so much spiritual stuff going on daily. I didn't think about the other beings, you know. So when I moved here and my brother told me that, it hit me over the phone. I was like, I'm here and I forgot I'm 45 minutes away from where they say aliens exist. And mind you, before, like about a year before I moved here, I had told Miss Mary that I had bought me a brand new plasma TV, put it at the edge of my king size bed. So whatever size my king size bed was, that's how big my screen was. I had gifted myself a big screen TV. And at night, I'll leave it on like a pink screen and I'll go to bed because I just prefer to wake up and see what's in my room. So I go to bed. In the middle of the night, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, something just wakes me up. And I just happened to wake up silently and I just opened my eyes and looked to the side and I saw what they would call a gray. From what I've learned about it is they're the little aliens that you see that are gray, that are short with the big eyes. Definitely look like that, only they have this like glow about them that's gray. The one I saw, okay, you've seen the movie, not Ted, what is it? The alien movie, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he would be considered one of the greys, is what they call him. But what I saw looked like him, only it had an aura of gray around him. So it wasn't even like when we look at each other, we're very distinct in our skins. You know, we see aura sometimes. But when I looked at this being, it was literally short because it looked like a little kid next to my it was actually next to my legs and my foot by the foot of my bed. And it looked exactly like that. It was the big head, the eyes, but it had this gray glow about it. And I wasn't scared, but I was really surprised because I was like, what the hell is this thing doing? I knew I was awake. Like Mary knows, I know the difference between being in the spiritual realm and sleep and all those things, you know? So I knew I was awake, but I was laying down. I could feel myself. I wasn't paralyzed, but I was not moving because I have never seen that type of being. So I looked and it is so crazy because, you know, you grow up watching these movies and how they talk about aliens and telepathy. And in that moment, I realized it was true because I remember laying down, waking up, looking at it, and thinking, "What the hell is this being doing in my room? I've never seen it before. Why now?" And then all of a sudden, I hear his thought, and it was a him because it was like a male voice. It was like not a distinct male voice, but I knew it was a male, not female. And it was like it was asking, I guess, its higher self or its higher being, whatever he answered to, he was asking, why am I not allowed to touch this being? Why am I not allowed to pick her up? Why can't I have her? And I heard it, but I didn't hear it out loud. I heard it in his mind. Then I did what a human would normally do in a scary situation. I literally was like, we're just gonna act like we didn't see that ghost and we're just gonna go to bed. So I literally did just that. As soon as I heard him asking questions about why he couldn't take me, I was like, I'm just gonna roll over like I'm asleep.
I'm going back to bed.
Then,
I'll go back to the realm.
And then for some reason I was wide awake. For some reason I was still like wide awake when I was making this decision to act like I'm just going to bed. Like we're just gonna null and void this right now.
Yeah.
I was wide awake. I saw it. I heard it. I was like, yeah, we're not doing this. And I literally somehow passed out. Like if I had been asleep for years, and then I woke up in the morning, and I was like, I got up and I started asking questions to myself and my higher being. I was like, yo, what the fuck was that last night? Like, what happened? Why was that here? And the only explanation that I had in physics was I had been hearing about how plasma screens were because in the spiritual realm and stuff, when The Ring came out and all those movies and stuff like that, I was wondering, I was, just seeking answers and stuff. I found out that plasma is used for teleporting. You know what I'm saying? Like time travel, things like that. In the studies of time travel, they talk about plasma. And then they were saying that's why I started hearing the conspiracy theories about how plasma screens are not good for you to have on at night when you're asleep in front of your bed. And then all those conspiracy theories ran through my head that morning, and I was like, where the hell would it have came from? I didn't see a beam of light. Where did it come from? And the first thing I thought of was my freaking plasma screen was on. And I was like, that's the only way I could have, because when you think about spirits and you think about anomalies in the house, like I was telling Mary, anything can be a doorway for them to come because they know what you're scared of. They know to be under your bed. They know what's going to, they have plenty of places. They don't have, nothing's going to stop them if they want to come see you. If you want to close the door, they're going to walk through it, So I've been in such a spiritual realm of mind for so long, dealing with a being like that I've never dealt with. It just completely blew my mind open more, So the next morning I'm going through all these, conspiracy theories and all the thoughts and everything that I've learned and these things. And I'm like, these beings can go anywhere because they're teleporting. Ghosts can walk through doors because they're ghosts. Where the hell did this thing come from? And I'm thinking, if they have high technology like they say they do, because they're saying that the government uses alien technology and in exchange for people so that they can experiment
Well, that's what they told me in my dream. They said it's the government, it's experimenting, and I was like, say what?
So what I've learned, what I've learned about the CIA documents is that there was an exchange of like, you can take this many people and we won't look that way as long as you can continue with your technology and we'll work. We won't talk about it. It'll be like a silent deal. But the CIA documents came out. So then, like I said, I'm going through all this stuff and I'm like, what the hell? I never saw it again. Never saw it again. I just remember that day I saw it. And then I was like, and I know, honey, I know when I'm awake. I was like a little kid in a moment. I was like, okay, we're just not going to do this today. I can't. This is a little bit above my pay grade, honey. So I just acted like I passed out. And I guess I really did just put myself to bed. And I woke up in the morning. My TV was still on. So like I said, I ran through all those things. And that was when really I said, I used to think, oh yeah, they're probably out there. No. Sometimes it takes an experience for your mind to open that, yeah, they're there. Because we always hear, like, anybody on this earth will hear, yes, there's ghosts. I've had this experience. I've had that experience. Very little people will say that they've seen reptilians or they will have seen a different shapeshifter unless they experience it. And then someone actually has to understand that if this person who's a human being like me has experienced it, it has to be there. Because why would somebody lie about it? Like, why would I lie about a little alien who scared the crap out of me, in the middle of the night? Mary, you know, I can go into any realm awake or asleep. I know when I'm awake. I have trained myself to know when I'm awake. And I know that I saw that being never had a problem,
They
never
say
issued.
New Mexico, that land right around, even though you're 45 minutes from Roswell, they say that a lot of like activity goes on in them areas though. They
And
do
I
say that.
believe it. I believe
They
it because
do.
after seeing that being and coming over here a year later, like I said, I didn't even think about the beings. I was just trying to get my son here for medical. I After being here and thinking, okay, well, let's go check out Roswell. You see the aliens everywhere that they have for you to take pictures with.
Yeah, I
So when
seen
I started to,
the
yeah,
town.
you see, okay, so yeah, the town Roswell is full of little alien statues for you guys to take pictures with, because if we're just visiting. But
Just
I live
Roswell.
around here now. Yeah, so the
Yes.
little town that I live with, it's called Artesia, New Mexico. It's 45 minutes away from there, and when I first got here, mind you, I'm from the city. I thought, okay, well, I'll give my car to my daughter for graduation, and I'll just buy a new car when I get here because I need a bigger car anyway. I give her the car. We come in a U-Haul. I get here. I'm thinking, well, they'll have a bus or a taxi and Uber. They'll have something. This town was so backdated. They had just got what is it? Where they bring you your groceries. I forgot which one that one's called, but it's on an app.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like Uber, not
We
Uber,
don't have that yet, by the way, where I'm at.
like Uber.
yeah, okay, so then you know what I mean
Uber
when you're in one of
Eats
those
and
towns
that.
that kind of
No, we don't. Because I would be
are
doing it.
ours. We don't even have Uber or Uber Eats. We don't even have
No, we don't
taxis
have
here. There's
any
no
of them.
buses.
No, we
None
don't
of that.
either.
So when I got here, I was walking around the town a lot with a little trolley to go grocery shopping. And I mean, everything's 10 minutes away, but when you're walking, it's about 30 minutes to the Walmart and back because they don't have nothing here but a Walmart. It's Walmart, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, but everything's spread out. It's a small town, but there's nothing here. So as I'm walking, mind you, for the first 6 weeks, I walked back and forth when I was going places. And then some days I just go out and kind of walk around to get to know the town, because I like to know what's around me. I was like, well, while I'm stacking money to get a car, I guess I'll just check everything out. Well, as I'm going through the same area to go to and from home, I noticed there's about 6 houses on my way in the same area where I live that look like people would be living there, but they're completely empty. I walked by this house who had a car that I thought I may want to buy, but the door was open to that vehicle. And I said, I wonder if anybody knows. So I knocked on the door to say, hey, like your door's open, just to be a good neighbor. Like, I'm like that. And the neighbor comes out and he's an old man. He's like, hey, nobody lives there. I said, well, there's a car here whose door's open. I just didn't want to slam it and the alarm go off. It was one of those blazers. And he was like, oh, no, nobody lives there. That car's been there forever. I said, okay, well, all right. I'm not going to touch nobody's car. I left. Till this day, I'm here 2 years. That car has never moved. The door is open and it's empty. There's plenty of houses around here that are empty but have vehicles, and they look like they're just somebody just left and never came back. So when they talk about the aliens like abducting people, like I definitely can see the activity, dust, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
I can see the activity that's not happening in these homes because there's a difference. Like when we live in Texas and we're around neighborhoods, when they're selling houses, somebody leaves, the neighbors know. No, here
Yeah.
around here, these areas, and my friend's from Roswell. She tells me the same things over there and around the towns around here in New Mexico. She goes, you can go live anywhere in New Mexico and you'll find random houses that look like they're lived in, and they're just nobody's there. She's like, there's cars there, brand new cars, old cars, sometimes cars that have been left there, but they look brand new, like they are still working, but nobody uses them. And I
They're
thought that
just
was so
vanished.
weird. Like it's just so. I thought that was I on. That's when I was like, okay, this looks like some alien abduction's been happening, and nobody says anything because they don't know, so they just leave the people to leave the house abandoned.
Yeah.
And I
I
have watched.
watched
I've watched around here.
I
I see a
watch a
lot of
lot
it.
of the abandoned shows where they go into abandoned houses and it looks like nobody, like they just up and left. Like
Yeah,
the food's
yeah,
still in the cabinets, and yeah, I watch them shows all the time.
yeah.
Urban Explorers,
hmm
and New Mexico's on there a lot. So is
And you know what?
Part of Texas too. It's all, and Arizona is all up in that one belt.
Yeah, Arizona. I was gonna say Arizona. I've heard that about that in Arizona. I have a friend over there who moved that way from Texas, and he's like, it's kind of weird around here. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I tell my friends that are from Texas and Austin with me, like, keep Austin weird is one thing, but we're weird in a way where like we're extra loving, we're real artsy, we're very true to ourselves. When you go to New Mexico and you see weird shit, it's like scientifically weird. It's like aliens weird. It's like a different type of weird name. You know what
It's
I mean?
like
Like it's a different.
Skinwalker Ranch weird.
Yes.
There you go. Let's sum that one up. Skinwalker Ranch. Enough said,
For,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's why I was like asking. I'm like, okay, so I thought it was like your area. Maybe it was in Arizona. I don't know, but they would say like they would see like these skinwalkers, like, and then after a certain time of night, like you couldn't. You have to keep all your windows shut. And I'm
My
like,
kids
how
won't
does
let
that
me
work?
use that word around them.
Oh,
Skinwalker.
it is
I
kind
do it
Well,
just to mess with them now.
my
What?
kids, like, they've known a lot of spiritual things because they all equally have their own gifts that we have to deal with and tame and control. But I don't think I ever gave them words that, or they didn't really hear words that they weren't uncomfortable with, because some kids are uncomfortable because they know what it is and sometimes it'll draw it to them. But my kids, once they heard that skinwalkers, because my son has my son's one of those kids who likes to watch stuff like that, but never go
Yeah.
live there. And now that we live in New Mexico, he goes, "You really brought us to the skinwalker area? Like mimics are everywhere? Are you crazy? There's aliens
I
30
was
minutes
thinking
away."
that. I was
I
thinking
was
that. I didn't
like,
want to say that. I'm like, you're in Skinwalker territory,
yeah,
but I was
no,
like, I'm gonna
no.
shut up.
I am definitely okay with using the words in my house because, like, I know there's nothing that really surprises me anymore. I really don't like to call things for me, but damn it, my phone is dying. It's dead.
no.
And
No.
Instacart is what we were talking about. But
Yeah.
they also have up here. The other areas have something like Uber Eats, but it's for your groceries too. But yet again, we don't get it in this area.
Yes. And so
I'm
we have
sad
like
about
the
that.
we have the DoorDash. We have Favorite. We have all of
Oh,
that.
they do it too. I don't even have I can't even get delivery here. No delivery. And my nearest Walmart is 45 minutes away.
Yep. That's about like when I was living before I moved here. I had to travel like 25 minutes just to. Well, it was 25 miles, and then that drive came long.
If you ever want to scare my kids, though, just use that word. They hate it.
Oh no
Both of
way.
them. They're like, no.
Especially my big
I do it
son
to them all
today.
the time. I'm like, Skinwalker. They're like, shh. We were camping in the middle of the night. I was talking about it. I was like, oh, Skinwalkers might be out there. My daughter freaked. She was like, no. I
I
was like,
mean, just let her know that when she
yeah.
like,
Her phone died.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Alrighty, perfect. Now I gotta find you. There you are.
hello, everyone. By the way, I didn't get to say hi to everyone.
I'm
Hello.
sorry. It's Carly.
Hello. I'm
I'm,
back.
I'm so excited. I was like, it's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I'm like, Monica would be great. So,
I'm sorry. At least I got
no,
home in time.
don't be
I got
sorry.
home.
You're good. I was like, you had a lot going on, so I was like, I don't want to stress you out.
Oh, you're good.
But I was like, I
It
am
was just a
determined.
long day.
I understand. I understand. Um,
And I do believe he has the flu.
oh yeah, that's
And my stomach ain't feeling so good either now. But I think mine's more anxiety about the funeral. That smell hit me when I walked in, and I think it traumatized me, like back to my dad's funeral, and it was
um,
just. I think
funeral.
that's why I don't feel good. But my son, I think he definitely has the flu.
Well, it's like like they always come to their funerals, so it's like for me when I go, I'm always like looking like I see them or I want to see them.
I didn't go up. I stayed back.
No, I'm saying like, but I'll look around the whole room like, okay, is there spirit
Yeah,
here?
I stayed back by the door.
You're like, just come in and say hi.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, at least you got, oh, glad you still went and, you know,
Yeah, I still went, but
I couldn't get a hold of our friend.
well, I can't hear you. I hear a lot of static.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you, but I hear something moving. It sounds like a
Don't be
yeah.
scaring me like that. Don't be scaring me. 49,
I
53 seconds.
I tried my new headset. I didn't like it, so I went back to the old one.
Okay.
That's why I changed headsets. I don't like that.
Can you
It
hear
was
me?
like so. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
The new headset's so tight, like it hurt.
I'm like, let's just
It's like
close
you
this
know.
window, shall we?
I know this one don't look the best, but it sounds the best for me. So
No, it sounds good. I really like your headset. This feels like I need to get one of those.
it's a
Oh,
gaming headset. I'm a gamer.
yeah. uh,
I used to be.
I like the other one, the trucker headset. That was
The
my
trucker headset.
yeah.
Where is that one? Oh, I have it right here.
That one's my favorite.
Can I have it for a second? This one. I should start using the trucker.
That one sounds good though. The way you got it, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, the trucker headset.
Oh yeah.
I have headsets out the wazoo.
Like I
I
got
like
all
this
of them.
one.
It's just finding one that can use and it's about it.
The best one for me so far is I just had the Turtle Beach one on it. No. The best one so far is the
That
gamer
one.
headset. I
Nice.
don't know why.
So
This one's like I feel like I'm a nope. Nope.
I don't know if Monica is going to come back in, but if not, then that's okay. And if you're still in here, just say hello. We're kind of wanting to, kind of what I was saying, like at the beginning, is we definitely want like your perspectives on different things. Like, um,
Yes.
we'd love to hear your stories for sure. I have a couple. I think we have a couple new viewers from our podcast group as well. But they're going to be listening to mainly like Spotify and everything. So I have some ideas. So, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm reading through them now.
we've had a good amount of comments today. I hope everybody's staying safe and out of trouble. Jennifer, staying out of trouble. Christopher. So, but we'll go ahead and call it a night. And I hope everybody's had a pleasant evening, and I hope you enjoyed our story. And come back for next Friday. Stay cool.
Blessed be
Bitches. No, I'm just kidding.
bitches.
Okay.